Hello, my friends, and welcome. I'm Amanda Weedmark, your host and expressive alchemist. I'm a visual storyteller, intuitive creative, and guide for conscious creatives and purpose-driven brands. This channel is a space where creative expression, intuitive insight, and honest business conversations come together to spark clarity, growth, and meaningful connection. I'd love to hear your insights, takeaways, or topic suggestions in the comments. And if my content resonates, please like, subscribe, and share with fellow creatives who might need a little inspiration on their journey as well. Your support helps the space grow and reach those who need it most, so thanks! Anything else you'd like to know about this channel or my services, you can find in the description box. Now, go grab your favorite beverage, and let's dive into today's episode. I'm curious, what's blocking your creativity or growth right now? Whether it's creative or professional, we all reach moments where something feels heavy, unclear, stalled, frustrating. In these moments, instead of forcing ourselves forward, sometimes we need to pause, look inward, and ask, what's actually in the way here? Maybe you keep waiting for the right time, or waiting until you feel good enough, skilled enough, or more of an expert to share with others. Maybe your self-limiting beliefs come roaring in when you think about expressing or sharing your ideas with others, so you stop yourself before you even get started. Or maybe you know what you want and you push through the discomfort and challenges, but yet you're not seeing the results you want or expect. These are signs that possibly something deeper is happening and needs to be addressed in order for the blocks to be removed. So, how do we do this? There are a number of ways to tackle this, and I encourage you to explore what that might be for you in your personal situation and circumstance. However, I personally like to draw tarot and oracle cards to help me see what I'm not seeing. In this episode, I'd like to draw some cards for you to open up some space for deeper awareness around obstacles and blocks that you may be currently experiencing in your creative practice or your business, and how you might move beyond them. Today, we're going to be focused on 3 readings with 3 unique messages. The timestamps for each reading will be in the description box below, so you can randomly choose a reading or choose to listen to all of them. It is completely up to you. We will be first drawing from my Nature Lovers Oracle deck, which I designed, illustrated, and self-published, and is available on my website if you want to purchase a copy for yourself. We'll then draw from other oracle cards and tarot decks to go deeper with the messages and guidance. These readings are general, so they will not resonate with everyone, so please take what fits and leave what does not. They're also here to offer insight, not instruction, so please use your discernment and intuition to apply these messages as you see fit. Now, let's hop into the readings. Hello, reading 1. Welcome into your reading. Let's look at what your current block or obstacle is. For reading 1, please. What is reading 1's current block or obstacle? Boundaries could be a block or obstacle for you at this time. There could be some that say yes to everything, and there needs to be better boundaries in place with clients, projects, or even tasks that you take on to be able to protect your energy, protect your sanity, protect your time, and to be really diligent and even discerning about what you say yes to, because there might be some things that you're saying yes to that's not quite correct for you or that is unnecessary in some way. So if you're feeling resistance or tension within your day or within your business, this could be a moment to consider where boundaries need to be put in place, where more no's need to be handed out. And with saying no, with pushing things away, with creating boundaries around certain tasks or people, this may bring up some guilt and shame, which needs to be given some space to process and understand. Now, I will say that it may not be possible at all times to say no, especially when we are in a financially restrictive space, or when we simply don't have the luxury to say no for whatever reason. So when you do have that luxury, when you do have that space and the opportunity to say no and set up boundaries, then it's being encouraged to do that, because this may be one of the blocks to you seeing growth or movement. And the more space you carve out for those things that are going to move the needle or are going to protect your peace or energy in some way, the better off you will be in the long term. So, bottom of the deck, underlying energy is letting go of control and expectations. That could be some guidance here. You may need to go with the flow a little bit. This may be teaching you to go with the flow when you set up those boundaries. However those boundaries are put in place and whatever those boundaries may be, you also have to let go of the outcome or the expectations. Because again, that guilt and shame keeps coming through. So there is a need to create space and go with some kind of flow when those boundaries are put in place. So when you say no to something, try to prevent going back on that no and reinforce that no through action rather than saying it over and over and over again, because sometimes we say no, but those boundaries continue to be pushed. That's when it's time to say it through action and to allow the chips to fall where they may, allowing it to be okay to create that space for yourself, to create those healthy boundaries, to protect your time, your energy, or even money. But with that comes a letting go and allowing. So this is very divine feminine energy, where we are in this mode of receiving. We are in this mode of moving with the flow in some way. So let's get a few more cards for context, maybe some more guidance on these blocks for reading number 1, please. For reading number 1, strongest energy, please, for reading number 1 regarding their blocks. Love. So in the context of business, it's about following the path to the things that you love, the things that you desire, and even self-love. But it requires you to have a little bit of wisdom of where your energy is being leaked, or where your boundaries are being pushed upon or pushed into. And these boundaries and the letting go is a form of self-love, because it is standing up for what we value within our business, but also within ourselves. And it's moving from a place of scarcity or a mindset of scarcity into a mindset of trust and abundance. So to continue to walk that path and realign to that path as best you can whenever the opportunity arises. One more card. Engage. So this is coming back to that message of engaging in that act of action in terms of putting those boundaries in place. You may at some point have to reinforce that through action, through active engagement. And it might not be something that is obvious to other people, so communication and engagement in that conversation may be required. But again, this person is walking the path and is engaging with the surroundings, so it may require you to engage with your environment or your processes or your business or your clients a little bit more, rather than taking a more passive approach. Also, staying inquisitive, I think, is the overarching message there. It's about really being mindful and observant of your surroundings and even of yourself. The reactions, the feelings, the emotions, the sensations that come up within your body, within the mind, within the heart, and continuing to engage and shift and make adjustments as necessary as you walk this path. So let's get some more information on how you can navigate this energy a little bit more for soul path. Pardon me, for reading one. Soul path. Okay, so also too, just because of the numbers are out on the table, number 2 and number 4, 2s are all about balance. It's also about reciprocity, and it's about making choices that align with what it is we need in any given moment. Again, not always possible, but it's about what choices can we make and we have control over, that we can start aligning to that a little bit more. And 4s are about foundation. So this could be about your emotional foundations and making sure that you're feeling solid and grounded in that foundation so that you can make really grounded, rooted decisions as it relates to letting go of releasing control, going with the flow, and reinforcing or protecting those boundaries in some way. So you have the Ace of Cups in reverse. Now, this is also an emotional energy. It is about things not feeling fulfilling or satisfying or even loving. There could even be an overwhelm of emotions and you having to make some kind of correction or adjustment in order to bring that back into balance. Number 1s or aces are opportunities and possibilities of entering something new that we've never done before. So I feel like this is going to require a significant shift within your emotions to be able to structure your business or your time or your processes in a way that feels a little more balanced. You may be taking on things that aren't necessary. There's a people-pleasing aspect coming through, so check in with that. That message is for some, not all. And really, I think you really need to check in with your emotions and see how you're doing. Then we have the Devil. Okay, so the Devil energy isn't an evil energy. It is an energy of having a bad habit, or there's an unhealthy behavior that is currently in play that we need to correct, that we need to become aware of. Now, this Devil energy can be really good when it comes to hard work. The Devil can be about really putting all of your efforts, all of your desire, all of your energy into the thing that you are creating or would like to create. And that's a great energy to have. But you'll notice that these two people are chained to this creature. So they're actively engaging in something that is no longer sustainable and is maybe no longer healthy. So it's time to reevaluate these attachments that you have. They could be emotional attachments to something, or they could be behaviors that you are attached to or habits that you have formed over a period of time that need to be evaluated and released. So this Ace of Cups here can be about that release. It can be about releasing the control that a certain, maybe a certain expectation you have of yourself, which makes sense with this let go of control and expectations. It's about not actively engaging in things that are either not working or unhealthy for you at this time, and protecting your peace a little bit more, protecting your health even for some. And the last card we have, this is beautiful. This is the Queen of Pentacles, and it's very aligned with that Deer energy here, where this is about Earth. It's about rooting into what's important. It's about aligning to our values and the things that we love. It's about actively engaging in those things, even when there's distractions or habits that are coming back to wreak havoc or threaten to pull us off course. But it first starts with awareness. And it first starts with connecting into how you feel, your emotions, your sensations. And not to say that just because we have a feeling we have to fix it, but to bring awareness to what might need to be shifted, adjusted, or pulled back on so we can find that balance again. And this Queen of Pentacles, she finds ways to feel comfortable in the discomfort, to really root herself down into the things that are solid and secure as best as possible. And there's also focus here. So there may be a need to focus somewhere else for a time so that you can pull your energy away from whatever this devil energy is and course correct or realign, and maybe even have more energy and space for what's next. So this is what I have for you, my dear reading number 1. I do hope these messages were helpful and offered the clarity you needed. Until next time, stay curious, and I'll see you in your next reading. Hello, reading 2. Welcome into your reading. So we're going to grab a card to get a feel for your obstacles and blocks at this current time. Strongest energy for reading number 2, please, regarding their obstacles and blocks. Thank you. Okay, so reading number 1 had this in their underlying energy card, so that might be of interest to you. But this is letting go of control and expectations with the number 4. So 4s are about roots and foundations and having a solid, firm foundation to be able to work from. And there's a certain feeling that it may be time to let go of control and expectations to allow for a period of time. Part of your block could be because there is too much control or maybe too much focus on the details or the outcomes, the results. So you may have to refocus your energy, your efforts for a time and kind of do what's in front of you and forget the rest. Forget how it might be perceived in the world. Forget the expectations you have of how this thing is going to be received or how it's going to sell. So the underlying energy is nurture the body to support the soul, yet another number 4. So I think there's a strong suggestion that you need to focus on your foundations because there's something there. I don't know if it's within the body or within the body of the business that needs to be looked at, that needs to be, I want to say, the soil needs to be tilled or weeded. There's something here that might not be working. So in order to support this foundation and make it even stronger, something needs to be done a little bit differently. That could be how you're perceiving something or how you are managing something. And part of that nurturing energy is being in this flow state of allowing, of moving day to day versus having long-term expectations. That's not to say that we can't have goals, but we must work within what we can control and let go of the rest. So there's a focus on the present moment and looking at the details of what's working and what's not and releasing of something here. So let's get some more context, some more cards for reading number 2 about their block or obstacle. One more. And you may need to focus on self for a time of strengthening your body or getting more rest or I was going to say nourishing your body or hydrating your body in some way. There could be something about your physical body that you have to take care of, and that requires you to let go of a little bit of control there too, because we have to allow the body to do what it needs to do to heal, to recover, but we must give it space to do that and the nutrients to do that. So let's see. And of course, we can only do our best there too. So our bodies sometimes are going to do what they're going to do, but it's about listening to that. And as I say, listen. Listen to something here. There's definitely something here that needs to be listened to. Now, what's interesting is I'm getting body from this community card because it's an accumulation of people. It's an accumulation or a group of individuals that come together in community. And so that to me is body. That is also kind of mirroring in the business body as well, where multiple things need to work and come together in order to work in harmony. Same with the body. There's a lot of things that happen in the body. There's a lot of processes that happen within our physical body that must come together and work in harmony in order for the body to function properly. So wherever you want to apply this message, I think there's something about listening to your community, whether that is external individuals, listening to your business and the individual pieces of that business of what do you need to nurture, what do you need to let go of, and listening to your physical body as well. So are there certain things within your body that need nurturing, that need time, that need space, that need healing? And there's a luxury that's coming in with this letting go. So there's like taking time to play, taking time to take your mind off work and to almost nurture that aspect of your life. So however that applies, definitely a strong message of listening to something here and to build a strong foundation, which is that community, of building that community. You must understand it kind of at a deeper level. You must create space to listen to it and to look at the feedback that you're getting. It's very interesting. You'll have to let me know if this is resonating, but we're going to get a few more cards to round out your reading with tarot, and let's see how you can navigate this energy. You can navigate this block. I'm getting 10 of Cups energy, which is a community card. It's where you feel you fit in and coming together with like minds and open hearts. So the first card that came out was the Two of Swords. There's definitely a decision that must be made here. And it is a decision that might be a tough one. So it's kind of like you're listening to something and you're understanding or realizing that I have to make a really difficult decision, and neither decision is either good nor bad. It is just a tough decision to make. And I think either decision is going to be neither good nor bad. It's just the decision that you have to make, but you're at some kind of crossroads here where it's kind of like a turning point of something needs to change, or you need to make a decision about something, but you're feeling a lack of clarity on how to make that decision in the best way possible. So right now I get the feeling that this is about possibly sitting and waiting and maybe isolating yourself from whatever chaotic energy might be around you at this time, whether that is in business or your community, and taking that step back so that you can really tap into the mind, the intuition, and gather information to help you make that decision. And then we have the Fool. So definitely a new start. This decision that you have to make as it pertains to this block could be feeling a little risky, and maybe that's why there's some trepidation, is that once you make this decision, there's almost no going back. And that's a scary place to be. But this is also a very letting go kind of energy, because you don't really know where it's taking you. You just know that possibly this decision that you have to make that's tough is the correct one. Even though it might be a tough one, it may be the path that you need to take in order to see growth, in order to do things differently, in order to nurture something in a better way. But it requires you to get into an open heart, an open mind, to explore the possibilities and to let go of control and expectations, because this is uncharted territory. And again, we talked about playful energy, childlike energy. Like, as you see in this card, this Fool is ready to jump off or walk off the cliff.
And he's not necessarily listening to his little dog that's warning him. He's just kind of going about it in a very, I don't want to say risky way, but he's just not worried about where he's going to end up. And that can both be good and bad. Because it's in the upright, I feel like it's a more positive thing, that you're entering territory that you've never been before, and that is a scary thing because you don't know where it's taking you. But I almost feel like this risk is an important one to take. It's a good risk, and look at this, beautiful. This is the Star card, and it is about following your North Star, about following what feels correct, even though it might feel uncomfortable, even though it might feel a little unclear. It feels correct intuitively. And I think you're going to find yourself following something that you've wished for a really long time. And this Star card is also alignment. So it's about aligning yourself possibly to the right communities, about aligning yourself to the things that you can nurture and that you don't feel like you need to have control over. This feels very easy. There's a lot of ease involved. But again, that's obviously not going to be 100% all the time. But there's a natural process that happens in this space where it's almost intuitive. You don't have to think twice about it, but it takes you some time to get there. And it really requires you to let go because you can't control the outcome. You can't control what you're going to experience. But I feel that whatever it is going to be heart-led, soul-led, and even destined in some way. So again, I really feel like the heart of your reading here is that nurturing aspect. So it's about nurturing yourself in this process, maybe leaning on community for support and guidance and advice. But ultimately, it is time to move into something new and to releasing control and releasing all the shoulds so that you can really open up to what's new and what's possible. So these are the messages I have for you, my dear reading number 2. I do hope these were helpful and offered the clarity that you needed. Until next time, stay curious, and I'll see you in your next reading. Hello, reading 3. Welcome into your reading. So let's open up by looking at your blocks currently, or your obstacles that you have to overcome. Blocks and obstacles for reading 3. You have the number 3. Conquer obstacles with help or tools at hand. This gives me the sense that there's some here that are doing everything all by themselves. They're trying to do everything on their own. Now, I will say that there's only so much time in the day, and in order for you to see possible growth or expansion within your business, I feel like it's time for you to enlist some kind of support or help, whether through delegation or whether it is a new skill that you acquire to do something a little more efficiently. So I feel there's a lot of time being spent on doing a whole bunch of tasks, but that's really chewing through your day, and you're not able to get to the things that either you enjoy doing or that are the most priority or of importance, etc., because you're getting caught in the weeds a little bit. You're getting caught in the details of things or the processes of some things. So it's either about learning to do something more efficiently or enlisting help to offload the tasks that are feeling heavy, that are tasks that you're not so skilled at, or simply don't want to focus on or enjoy. So the underside of the deck here, which is the underlying energy, is reflect to improve with the number 7. So there's definitely a stepping back here to reflect on something, to possibly look at your emotional self. We have both water cards here. So this to me is about something within the depths of why you're doing something the way that you're doing. Is there a pride or an ego involved in doing everything by yourself? No shame, no judgment there. But I've gotten caught up in that before, and it was hard to let go of that. So it's about really reflecting deep on what it is you're doing, how it is that you're doing it, and why you feel like you have to do it all yourself. Now, also look at some of the tasks that you're doing. Is there room for improvement in what you're doing as well, so that you can do something more efficiently? That could even be, I'm seeing like a combination of tasks. So instead of doing a process where there's 10 steps, you can find a way to do it in 4 or 5. I don't know what that means. That kind of just came to mind as I was talking, but there's something about reflecting upon something here to improve a process, to improve the way you're doing something. And I'm just seeing books here. So there's something that could be about learning something new. And that could be a course or through a book. So 2 more cards to get a little more information, context on this block. Please, for reading 3. So above, and 1 more. Yeah, I think there's something about seeing the bigger picture here, or the long-term picture. So it's not about the today. It's interesting. I got a very different message for reading 1, where it was about looking at the present moment and not looking out at the future and beyond. But this one is the complete opposite. It's like, look at how this might be sustainable for the long term. Dig deep. We talked about that too. I love it when the cards kind of align like that and very synchronistically. So it's interesting. We have above and below. And in tarot, it's like as above, so below. So there's something that is within that is being expressed without. I would encourage you, I think this is an invitation to look at that. So what is happening in the external world, and how is that being reflected within, and vice versa? So you may have to dig deep here. We talked about that with this reflection card. There's something here that could be uncovered, discovered, that will really help your way forward, will provide you a level of knowledge or understanding so that you can do something a little bit differently. I think there's some buried treasures, but it requires you to kind of look at both things as a whole, and not just looking within, and not just looking in the external processes or the circumstances. It's really about understanding both and how they're working together. I hope that's making sense. But I think there's a lot of things down there in the depths of your emotions, in the depths of the whys of why you're doing something, which is affecting how you're doing something, and even what you're doing as well. So let's get some more information with tarot, and we're going to look at how to navigate this energy a little bit. What is some guidance and advice for reading 3, please? How to navigate this energy. Yeah. 1 more. Okay. So we have first card out was the High Priestess, which is a number 2. This is about possibly being misaligned to what your intuition is telling you. And there's something about you I don't want to say ignoring your intuition, but there's a disconnection to your intuition that could be telling you something that you're not able to hear because you are kind of in the processes, in the weeds of things, and almost doing too much. So it's about creating space to be able to connect in with that. And it's interesting that the High Priestess, she does connect with the above. She does connect with that higher level of knowing, that higher level of consciousness, and that inner wisdom to be able to understand it and then bring it forth into the world. So she is kind of that bridge between the conscious and the subconscious, the intuition and the logic. So definitely something there that needs to be kind of connected in with. And then we talked about going into the depths of the emotion. We have the Queen of Cups here, who is not afraid of going into the depths and really understanding things and holding space for what's within the emotional body, tapping into sensitivities as well as intuition and creativity. And those feelings that come up when we do delegate. How do we feel about that, and why? When we do release certain tasks, or we take on certain tasks, there's a feeling that comes with that, and there's possibly a meaning that you have attached to that. So looking at that and just understanding that a little bit. Now, with the Queen of Cups too, she is somebody that really holds space for these emotions for herself so that she can understand them, but she's also very good at nurturing herself and really making sure that she is in balance so that she can be of service and she can hold space for others in the world for the things and the people that she loves. And then the last card that came out was the Knight of Pentacles. There's a patience that's coming through, especially with this Earth card. This is also an Earth card. There's something about digging deep and taking your time. So there is time that's going to be required in order to understand something or to gain something that you need in order to see growth. I think that this is going to be slow growth. I think this is going to be, I think the realignment to your values or your beliefs is going to be slow if that's what you are doing. And even gaining a new skill, there's going to be a slow learning process in that, because it's about understanding something at its depth and then applying that in the real world, which is going to take time. So I think the overall suggestion and guidance is to take things slow, to have a little patience, and to continue to align with where you'd like to go, align with what's most important at this time, align with your values, and look at where you can make improvements for your own mental health and well-being, but also for the growth of your business and the expansion of your business, however you see fit here. And don't discount that quiet intuition that's nudging you in a certain direction or nudging you to make a certain decision, because those messages are important to heed as well. They are quiet and soft, but important. So these are the messages I have for you today, my dear reading number 3. I do hope these were helpful and offered the clarity you needed. Until next time, stay curious, and I'll see you in your next reading.
Thanks so much for listening and sharing this space with me today. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to like, subscribe, and share it with a fellow creative who might need it. And stay tuned for more episodes. Until next time, my friends, stay curious and follow your soul-led path.